getting into autumn now, so we've been given quite a few apples, so it's going to be apple cider vinegar and kombucha time. It's the 28th of September and it's a very stormy weekend, so we've been given a load of apples. So instead of them going to waste, we're going to make a batch of apple cider vinegar. So in here now we've got 14 pound of apples and roughly about half a pound of sugar, and there is, what is it, say 17 litres of water. So there's no actual recipe, you just chuck a bit of this in and a bit of that in, and you leave this for say a month or 2 months for the apples to ferment, and then you sieve it off. So I put the apples in, put the sugar in now. I'm going to put a SCOBY in now. I'll show you now what the SCOBY is. It's the same type of thing what you use for kombucha, and you put that on top and it eats all the sugar. So I'll get the SCOBY now. These are the SCOBYs. It's like a disc, it's like jelly, like a solid jelly, I suppose. But it's you put it on top right, and it'll eat all the sugar. But I gotta submerge these apples. If I don't submerge them, they will go like mildew and a mould will come over them, and it'll be ruined. So I'll put a SCOBY in, and it'll eat all the sugar. And as I said, within about 2 months then I can bottle it up. I'll strain it and bottle it up. I thought while I'm at it, I'll make some sweet tea for the SCOBYs. What you do, you say once a year or twice a year, you make a batch of very sweet tea, and this will feed the SCOBYs. It'll keep them going for a year. So what I do, I got about four tea bags. Half, say 3/4 pound of sugar in here, and I'll just put it into the SCOBYs now, and this will keep them going for a year. It'll keep them in good nick and they'll grow. And every time you feed them, they produce another SCOBY. What they do, they call it the mother SCOBY, and that, like in technical terms, it has a baby and it grows a little SCOBY. And it keeps producing and producing, so you've got a never end of SCOBYs. So what I've done now, I've topped this up. I've weighted it down so the apples are submerged. I'll cover that now and give it a month or two, and then we'll have a look at it. And it should be ready to bottle, and then the longer you leave it, then after that it'll mature and get stronger vinegar. So I'll do an update now in about 2 months' time. Since we've made a batch of apple cider vinegar, which is just fermenting by here now, it's got another like 3 weeks to go. So I thought I'd try a batch of kombucha. I haven't made any kombucha for about 2 years. So it's the same type of these are kombucha SCOBYs which I put in the apple cider vinegar. So this is what they call a SCOBY hotel. As I said in the last video, every time you put a batch of tea in it, it grows another SCOBY. So you've got a never-ending supply of SCOBYs. So what I've done, I've cut a SCOBY to size now. Some people tell you to look after them and all this nonsense. They don't like being handled and clean this, clean that. I don't bother. So I've sterilised the jar now. I'm sterilising this, so I've cut the SCOBY to fit this 1 gallon jar. So I'm going to make a batch of tea now, and I'll go through the recipe with you now. I've got 5 just bog standard tea bags in a bowl over there. I'm not going to do an exact recipe, so I'm going to put, you'll see now, roughly say that amount of sugar. It's roughly 3/4 pound, say, and 5 tea bags. So I'll just boil the kettle now, and I just do this just to dilute the sugar, like, because let's get a spoon. So we've got the sugar and the tea bags. It's just to disperse the sugar. And what I'll do now, you leave it cool down. You make your tea and it's got to be cold. You can't put any warm tea on top of a SCOBY because it'll just kill it. So what I'll do now, I'm not going to wait all day. I'm going to leave it steep and get a bit stronger. And I'm going to top this up with cold water from the tap. And we just pour that into the gallon jar. We'll put about 3/4 gallon of tea in the jar, and then we'll add the SCOBY and a bit of starter liquid, which is from the hotel, the SCOBY hotel. This is very strong stuff. This is just to feed the SCOBYs over the year, like. So we'll use a bit of that. It's just to bring the pH down a bit so it don't go mildew. Once I've had a batch of kombucha that's gone, the SCOBY's picked up mildew and mould and everything. You have to discard the lot then. So this will cool down now. This will steep for 10 minutes and then I'll top it up with cold water. Right. The tea is cold. We've added it to the jar. We've topped it up with water. And we've put the starter juice from a previous batch. So we're just going to add the SCOBY now. So this is the SCOBY going in. That's just going to sit there. And that'll ferment now for about a week. I'm going to take a pH reading. What they say, you try and get it under 4.5 and it should not get any mold then. So I'm going to put that pH meter in. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. It's low. It's at, you can't really see. It was 296 there. It was at about 320. So I'll leave this in for a week now to ferment, and I'll bottle it up then when it's just under 3, because it's still fermenting. I'll put it in a bottle with some fruit or some ginger for a second ferment for about 3 or 4 days for it to carbonate. That's if you like sparkling kombucha. Now I like sparkling kombucha, so I give it about 3 or 4 days in the bottle and it'll be fizzy kombucha. Now this was big in the 70s and the 80s. Everybody was drinking it. It's a probiotic drink. Apparently it's got good bacteria. It's like that Yakult yogurt. It's good bacteria for the guts and it's supposed to be very good for you. And it's making a comeback at the moment and it's very expensive. So you're better off making a batch yourself. This all it costs is the sugar and a couple of tea bags. So that's nothing. As I said, I'll get about, after this is gallon batch, so I'll get about 5 pints. So I'll do an update later on when it's when I bottle it up. Right, it's all done now, so we're going to store it in a quiet, dark space. I said for a week, and we'll check for a week and then we'll bottle it. But you have to leave it breathe. So you put a cloth over the top, like, not the lid, just to keep the bugs off it. And we'll bottle it now in about a week.